This keeps happening to people, and today we're gonna figure out how to stop it.
Guys, tell me why my mortgage went from $3,200 a month to $5,600 a month.
I just got some crazy news. My mortgage just went from $4,500 to $6,050, and it'll be effective March the 1st.
Y'all, I just got my yearly escrow review, right? I pay the mortgage, my monthly mortgage is $3,332.74. And starting March 1, my new mortgage will be, are you ready? $5,337.65.
So these are all examples of people whose mortgage payment shot up on them, and then they found themselves in a state of payment shock because they didn't understand one thing. Now, it's simple, but can still be a little complicated. It took me a long time to understand it, and it is your escrow account. What a lot of these people are experiencing is what's called an escrow shortage. So for your escrow account, two things live there: your taxes for your house and your insurance for the house, right? And when you have an escrow shortage, that means the money that you had in that account is not enough to cover the actual bill. So when we see these videos, it's easy to get scared. But one of the best ways to protect yourself is to have a good real estate team. Myself and my team are amazing at this. All we do all day is help people make good decisions about the homes they're gonna buy. So if you're gonna buy a home anywhere in the great state of Texas, reach out. We would love to talk to you and get you set up with a member of the team so that you can have a stress-free transaction. All right, let's get back to the thing. So let's talk about how these get billed. So when you close on your house, they are going to make sure that that escrow account is full. It's full for your insurance. That's why your closing cost is so high. Most of it is taxes and insurance. So they're gonna fill it up with the entire amount of your insurance, and they're gonna fill it up with the taxes needed. Now, all my people that are buying resale homes, you should be safe. If it's not a new construction, you should be safe here because most mortgage lenders are gonna collect about 3 months more than you actually need. That little overage is cushioned so that if the house value fluctuates, you don't have an escrow shortage. You have an abundance and you can handle it. So my people that are buying new constructions, you're the ones that are gonna wanna be cautious here because the mortgage lender may only be putting the amount in escrow needed for the value of the land and not the new value of the house. So how does this happen? Two things to understand here. So your insurance and your taxes are billed two different ways. Your insurance gets paid all up front. So it gets paid up front and we throw it in that escrow account. Your taxes, they get paid in arrears, which means they get paid at the end of the year. So you spend the year filling up the tax account in order to pay a tax bill at the end of the year. The problem with that is at the beginning of the year, your taxable value is one thing, which could just be the land value of the house. And at the end of the year, it's something else. What you should be putting in your escrow account is the new taxable value at the end of the year. So let's say the land value is worth $50,000. And when I closed on my new construction house, they only put escrow taxes for $50,000 value. So let's say that's $1,000. But when I actually put my house on it, the new value of that is $300,000. And instead of the taxable amount being $1,000, it should be $3,000. So I only put aside $1,000 for the whole year. And at the end of the year, the tax person is saying, hey, I need $3,000. So then you find yourself in an escrow shortage, meaning the amount of money that you put into your escrow account is not enough to cover the taxes needed. How this really messes people up is if you can now not pay that extra $2,000 that they're asking for, well, that gets spread out over 12 months and then added on top of your new $3,000 bill for your taxes that is also spread out over the next 12 months. So you've got your 2025 taxes that were $3,000 and your 2026 taxes that were $3,000. We only paid $1,000. So now we're paying $5,000 in taxes because we had the $2,000 shortage and the $3,000 new taxable value. That's how people end up in a situation of escrow shortage. Can happen for your taxes and your insurance. So beware, if you change insurance companies, you could end up with an escrow shortage. So keep a close eye on that. It can get a little complex, but keep a close eye there. If your new insurance amount is more than the previous, you may have a shortage and you might need to pay that difference in cash. Same thing with the taxes, okay? Resale people, this is not gonna happen to you. New construction people, pay attention, all right? You need to pay close attention to how you're being taxed at closing. Here's why they do this. If the mortgage lender does not put the estimated amount of taxes in for what this will look like at the end of the year, it's probably because they need you to qualify, right? And the lower the monthly payment they start you with, the easier it is for you to qualify for this house. It makes your interest rate better. This lower payment makes your debt to income ratio better, which makes you lower risk, which gets you that approval. But if they're not telling you, hey, your tax bill is only $1,000 this year, but at the end of the year, the full bill is gonna come due and it might be more like $3,000. If they're not telling you that, then they're failing you, okay? If they're not telling you that, then they're failing you. And we're not gonna count on them to tell us that at this point. We're gonna do it ourselves. So what's a good way to estimate what the future taxable value of your house might be? Well, whatever the appraised value of the home is, I would do about 80% of that. So if the appraised value is $100,000, we're gonna do $80,000 value. And then you're gonna multiply that by the tax rate for your county or city. That's a quick Google. You should be able to find that. And it might not be 100% accurate to your situation, but it'll get you close. So take the tax rate, multiply it by the appraised value, divide that all by 12. And that is what your monthly tax payment should look like. What we don't want to have is a situation where we're paying back taxes and current taxes. That is how you find yourself in payment shock. And then there's another sneaky little thing that happens here, especially with my new construction people, and it happened to one of the people in the video earlier, but it is those temporary buy downs. So the temporary buy down is when the builder gets you into the house and they say, okay, for your first year, you have an interest rate of 4. For the next year, your interest rate is 5, and then the year after that, it's 6. And that's just where it stays, right? When you had the 4% interest rate, your monthly payment was $300. Now you have the 5%, now it's $400. Now you have the 6%, and now it's $500. So that payment goes up. Your principal and interest go up. Also, your tax amount goes up. So if you have a higher interest rate, you have an escrow shortage, you have a higher taxable value, and then don't add in higher insurance to all of that, you're gonna find yourself paying multiple $1,000s more a month than when you started. For some people, this is okay. When you find yourself in a situation where you're looking at one of these like temporary interest rate buy downs where the value might fluctuate over time, what I need you to do is look at your entire financial picture, right? You might think that you can afford this next year, but make sure that you can not only afford the new interest rate, but you can afford the new tax rate. And when all of that goes up, look at your entire life and see, did other bills go up? Did you have to buy a new car? Did you put a kid in daycare? Daycare is crazy expensive. Or did you take a kid out of daycare, which puts a whole lot of money in your pocket, which makes this new situation more affordable for you? A lot of people find themselves in a situation where they're saying that they are house poor. You might not actually be house poor. There are probably other levers that you can pull in your financial picture to make everything more sustainable and easier to handle. But when we're looking at our cost of living, it can't just be the cost of the house. It has to be the cost of everything around it, okay? So once we look at our full financial picture, and they're trying to put us in that new construction with that adjustable interest rate, we'll look at our full financial picture and make sure that, okay, can I afford the increase in interest next year and the year after, along with an increase in taxes and possibly an increase in insurance? Most cases, it does not get cheaper over time to own a home. So I need you to be prepared for this. This video is not to scare you, only to prepare you. And we're not gonna wait for anybody else to lead us in the right direction because we have all the information right here, right now. So that's my spiel. Thank you for listening. There's another video here about how the price of your home and your mortgage can go up over time. You'll definitely want to check that out. My name's Stephen Harris. All my contact info is in the description. I would love to talk to you about your situation. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.